tasty, tasty. Incredible.
Hey folks, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I hope you're having a cracking Sunday, because it's been a really good day for me and I'm pretty happy. But I'm back from vacation, so I hope you're doing well. Corda says nice keyboard today. Thank you very much, man. The Dalco 959 Mini is a good keyboard. Thank you very much for that. Josh says good evening. Hey man, good to see you. He also subscribes for 4 months on a 4-month streak. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you. I think we also had a couple of follows as well, so thank you so much for anyone that did follow. JQ27 says let's go. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Cordes is saying sure, because I said there were always nice keywords.
Tasty.
Lex, thank you so much for the subscription, man. 9 months. 9 months. You could have a top clack baby in that amount of time. Like, you could literally have a child in that amount of time. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Tasty.
JQ27, thank you so much for the sub, man. You are just behind the 9 months. You are giving birth next month to a PT baby, right? Chris Bezic is here as well. He says good evening. Hey man, good to see you.
Tasty.
Jenga says hello as well as Demotex. Hey man, good to see you. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. Bard says welcome back and subscribes to 2 months. Thank you very much for that, man. I appreciate all the subscriptions.
Incredible.
Thank you so much. Hamza, thank you so much for the follow, buddy. I really appreciate that as well, man. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm back. 2 weeks in Mauritius is over and done with. We got back early as a Friday. Chris Besick says cash money. How was the holiday with an 8-month subscription? Thanks so much, man. Thanks. Even though Bean says Lupo. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you. What is the month equivalent of a car? I'm not sure what you mean by that, dude. I'm not sure what you mean by that. And you can have a baby in less than 9 months if they're born premature. That's true. But like, let's just assume it's 9 months, right? Thank you so much for the 5 bits, Isaac saying welcome back. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mauritius was amazing. We got back on Friday morning. We should have been back Thursday night, but we got back Friday morning. The reason for that being, our flight was supposed to go to Manchester and it didn't. It went to Heathrow instead, and then they put on a coach because there's issues at Manchester with apparently there's like massive delays there. So Emirates decided to fly us to Heathrow. They changed our flight the day before, moved us from one flight to another. It meant our layover in Dubai was actually longer because it was 2 flights from Mauritius to Dubai and then Dubai to the UK. So we ended up going to Heathrow, and then they put a coach up to Manchester. So the coach was like 7 hours or something, 6 hours, 7 hours. So yeah, so it was like a whole thing. And then I had to go back the next day to pick up my bags as well. So it took us a lot longer to get back than I was hoping, but hey, I'm back now and I've had the weekend to recover. Although the jet lag is still there because I was up early for the F1 this morning. I got up at 5 a.m. for the F1 this morning and yesterday morning because it was the qualifying and race because it's in Australia. So long story short, I'm still jet lagged, but I'm back and I'll be back in work tomorrow morning as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Timothy says welcome back, dude. Thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, the holiday was amazing. We did a lot of stuff. We visited the island. We went all over the place, rented a car and drove around, and yeah, we saw loads of amazing stuff. The weather was amazing apart from when it rained, but if you watched Insta stories you'll have seen that. But even when it rained, it was super hot. We actually got really badly sunburned because on the second day where it was raining, we decided we were just going to sod it and go out in the heat because it's still really warm when it rains in Mauritius. It's still like 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. It's still really warm. It's a hot summer's day here in the UK in Mauritius, even when it's raining. So we went out in the rain and did a load of water sports. We did some kayaking, and while we were out kayaking, we'd put sun cream on just in case, but of course the rain had slowly washed it off us, and of course falling in the water, because that happens as well, washed it off us, and then all of a sudden the sun came out, the rain disappeared, and we just got really badly burnt. Like, me and the wife, we were like 15 minutes away from shore, so between the sun coming out and 15 minutes later is getting back to our hotel rooms, we got burnt really badly. So lesson learned, we're just going to carry around one of those pocket-sized sticks that you can rub on for sun cream if we go back to anywhere like that again. But we're all recovered now, pretty much. A little bit itchy in places, a little bit of peeling. You probably see it on my arm peeling just up here a little bit, but we're fine. It's all good. But if anyone's looking to go to Mauritius, I can recommend it. It was amazing. It's basically just a paradise in the middle of the ocean, and There's no big waves or anything like that because there's like a natural reef around the island that protects it all, so it's just calm, shallow waves. It is literally like the island from Castaway in places. It's amazing. And then of course there's like the Port Louis, which is the capital city, which is kind of like bigger than you'd expect, and it's just
incredible.
I can't recommend it enough. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We had a great time with me and the wife, and we are tempted to go back again in a couple of years' time. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so the sunblock that we were using was waterproof for up to an hour. It like you could spend an hour in the water and it should be fine. But because we were in the rain for like so long, like it's like tropical rainstorm, right? So it was raining for like 4 hours and we were out in it for 4 hours. It just rinsed the sunblock off us. It's just one of those things.
Tasty.
Thank you so much, Timothy, for subscription. I appreciate that. Do I have any photos? Yeah, I posted some on Instagram. I'll post them in the Discord later on if you ask me to post them. I'll post some pictures of where we stayed. So we stayed in like a lovely hotel beachfront villa type place with thatched roofs and a little balcony, and it was genuinely lovely. It was paradise. Like, we could literally like you could drop a stone out of our window into the sea. It was so close, and yeah, I missed it already. It was really, really good though, really good. But I'm back now here in the UK, here at the workshop, ready to crack on. F1 racing, how exciting. Yeah, I watch the F1 as often as I can, so even whilst I was away there was a race and I made sure to access that through some grey internet links, but I watched the race while I was away because I was I'm a huge Formula 1 fan. It's like the only sport I follow, so I was definitely going to watch that. And of course, I was up early this morning to watch the Australian Grand Prix because it's the time difference between the Australia and UK, so it was like 6 a.m. start for the race this morning. So I was up at 5 to make sure I had a coffee and everything else. So yeah. Back to sunny England. Do you know what? When we got back, it was bright and sunny. It was freezing cold. It was like 6 degrees, and that was a real big shock because the average temperature while we was away was like 32 Celsius. So coming back to 6 degrees Celsius was really, really cold, but it was all right. It was fine. Like we're kind of used to it again now. Snicket, hey man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Okay, so that was the holiday. It was really good.
Incredible.
Omnibon, thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Chrysos as well. It's going to pop up in a second. Thank you so much as well. PT news. What's happening with Prototypist? So, whilst I was away, some group buys still happened and things happened in the back end. That's all going to kind of like catch up. Tomorrow's going to be my catch-up day, so I've got maybe something like 800 or 900 emails and Discord DMs to get through, so I'm going to try and focus on those tomorrow. Try and make sure I've caught up on everything that I need to do and do all of that kind of stuff as well.
Tasty.
PLZT, thank you so much for the subscription. As well as that, Mel and I are going to catch up first thing in the morning at the coffee shop and plan out this week. The reason we're going to do that is because the whole workshop is full of boxes. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of boxes because there's like 30 or 40 different group buys have all arrived at the same time whilst I was away. So Mel and I are going to set up a plan of what we think we know is in those boxes, and then we're going to categorize it, and then we're going to work through priority orders to what can go out. Basically, we're going to do whatever we can ship fastest, like desk mats first, and then anything that takes longer, like keyboards, it's going to be a week or so before we get to those because they take a lot of QC and everything else. So we're going to do the easy stuff first and the harder stuff later, but we're going to work through all of that, and then there's going to be a huge amount of extras towards the back end of this month because there's going to be Sagittarius, Tsukiyomi, Hidari keyboards. There's going to be tons of different desk mats. There's going to be loads of switches in stock. There's going to be a few key sets. I think we've got SA Magica in finally, so that's going to ship and there'll be extras of that. There's some of the IFK sets that have arrived and we'll have extras of those as well. There's just a ton of stuff, so we're going to spend the whole week going through that. We're not going to do our usual 4-day working week that we usually do. Usually we do like 45 hours condensed into 4 days. We're not going to do that. We're going to do a full 5-day week and just work as many hours as we can to get through it. So yeah. Sagittarius should be here. We haven't unboxed them yet, Lex, but it should be in the workshop right now. So as far as I'm aware, they are here. I just haven't got around to unpacking any of the boxes yet, and that's going to start tomorrow morning. So Mel will do the in-stock orders whilst I kind of catch up on emails and stuff like that. As soon as we're done that into a good enough position, then we'll start going through those boxes, categorizing them, making sure that we do all of the quicker group buys first. So stuff that can ship immediately, like key sets that doesn't need too much QC, or desk mats where we can just test them, like check 1 in 10 or something like that. We'll try and get those out as quickly as possible. Anything that does need like hands-on QC that's going to take roughly an hour aboard, that's going to be a little bit slower and a little bit longer, but we'll get to it. And we do have other staff that if we need to, we can call in if we feel like we're not getting through it quick enough. So yeah. that's the plan for this week. It's going to be hugely busy, but there's going to be a ton of extras as well. I think everything we have has got extras with it, like a significant chunk of it as well. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how that goes. But I'm excited to get all of these group buys shipped out. I think we're expecting the DHL bill just in shipping alone to be something like £40,000 this month. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay. This coffee I had to make with soy milk because that's all that Mel had left in the fridge. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I can't drink that. That's a waste of a good coffee. I'm going to put that to one side. Yeah, I did not enjoy that. It's not latte art because it's soy milk, so it doesn't foam properly. But I've just tasted it. I've never had soy milk in a coffee before. I'm not having it again. Let's put it that way. Normal milk or oat milk all the way. Yeah, time to break out the iron brew. Yeah. Do you cut POM plates at your workshop? Yeah, we have industrial laser cutters here, and we cut them in our workshop. So one of the things I will be catching up on later on this week is all of the POM plate orders that have come through. I think there's about 50 or 60 different orders, so maybe a couple of hundred plates to cut. I think one order has like 30 plates on it or something, so we'll work through those towards the back end of this week. So yeah. Yeah, I just used the soy milk because it was what was in the fridge. But I'm genuinely not a fan. Like, that just put me off. Like, yeah, I'm not good with that. So I shouldn't redeem the caffeinated channel points thing. Is the caffeine in this? Sorry, I'm going through. I'm just checking if there's caffeine in it. There is caffeine in this. So if you do the caffeinate command, I can drink this. There we go. We're good. So there we go. Yeah, it's kind of like congealed on there, I think. As the soy milk. That wasn't good. Anyway, yeah, so busy week for PT this week. Lots of packages going out, and I think, as I say, about £40,000 we're going to spend with DHL just this week alone in shipping stuff, which is kind of nuts when you think about it. I'm hoping we have enough boxes because we ordered a load of boxes as well. Some of them turned up while I was away. Some of them haven't turned up yet, so we'll see. Caffeinated. All right, thanks, Iwane. Thank you. There you go, we're caffeinated. I need the caffeine today, actually. I went to Starbucks on the way here, and I never go to Starbucks because I don't like coffee, but I went to Starbucks on the way here because I was falling asleep. That's how bad it was. So yeah, that's just where we're at. As well as that, I've also had a ton of personal stuff delivered. I'm going to unbox some of it this week and some of it next week because there's just too much of it to go through. So yeah, like, I need to stop buying keyboards, let's put it this way. I need to stop buying keyboards for my personal collection because I just have too many to build now. Like, I think we had 6 personal ones turn up whilst I was away. I'm going to unbox 2, which I'm really excited for today, and something else as well, which I'm not quite sure what it is. So I'll show you those in a second. But I need to start slowing down on the number of keyboards I buy because I have too many. Going to need to drink a few cans. Thanks for that, Iwane. Thank you. Hey, Thunderburger, good to see you, man. Glad to see you. Thank you very much for being here. 30 milligrams of caffeine in a can of iron brew. Is that right? Is that what it said? I don't think it told me an amount on this. It doesn't actually say how much is in it on here. It just says energy, fat, carbohydrates, sugars, protein, and salt. So, Future Primitive, hey man, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Never too many, just not enough storage. Yeah, I think I'm north of 400 custom keyboards now. I think I don't have an accurate count, but knowing where I was a year ago when someone counted for them and roughly equating that I get around 10 boards a month delivered, I think I'm north of 400 now, I think. So yeah, I think that's where we are. Plus I have a lot of vintage boards as well. That's not counting the vintage boards. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'll keep sharing what I buy with you guys and opening them, of course, building them on stream. That's the whole point of these streams. But I do need to calm down and slow down, and maybe I need to sell some off as well. I did sell 5 or 6 boards just before I went on vacation. Maybe I need to sell some more because there is a lot of boards here, and I don't want to like flip them or anything. So if I sell them, they'll be at retail or close to retail cost. So yeah, maybe I need to do that because I've got like a few boards that I don't have any emotional attachment to anymore. Let's put it that way. So we will see. We will see. JQ says, I can take some ISO boards off your hands. Well, yeah, okay, well, let's put it this way. If you are interested in a board you know I have, reach out to me and say you were willing to pay X amount for it, and I will either say yes or no, right? Let's do it that way. That's the fairest I can be. That's the easiest way to do it, because I don't have an accurate count or even a list of what I have. So I kind of know up here. I couldn't list them all out, but if someone says, do you have X, I will say yes or no, and I will know. But like up here, I don't have like a full list. I don't have a list of it in Excel of everything I own either. Same with keycap sets. Like, I was going through keycap sets today to decide what to put on the board, and like, I don't know, we must have a couple of hundred GMK cap sets. Like, it's just nuts. And this is personal stuff, not stock for the store or anything like that. It's kind of crazy. So I do need to sort it all out. And I'll be honest, like, I love collecting things, but having a collection this big becomes a liability rather than a pleasure to have, because it's just too much to track, and I don't even know the value or how much I've spent or anything else. So it's at the point where it might be a problem. It might be an addiction rather than a collection. So I might need to address it. And that might be something that we do in the next couple of weeks. As you can see, this has been playing on my mind a little bit. So we'll see. Get Tinkerton back in for another accounting. Yeah, I still owe him some laser cutting stuff from last time. So we need to work on that. We need to work on that. Now I can explain that my 5 isn't much to my missus, thanks. No worries, man, no worries. The correct, if your wife ever asks, or your missus ever asks how many you should have, or your partner or whoever, it's always n+1, right? So the number you have +1 is always the right number to have. That's how you need to go for it. Lupo says, I had a speculative question about the carbon fiber plate group buy. An idea, if you will. Is it cool to ask? I can park it and see actually working if you like. No, ask away. If it's something I can ask on here, I will do.
Tasty, tasty.
Peas Lake, thank you so much for the subscription, man. Thank you so much. Future Primitive says, hi, Jay. Good to put a face to the name. Nice stream, man. Thanks very much for being here. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. Hans Lowe's here as well. He says, addiction. Yeah, it is a little bit of an addiction. Yeah. Crash the market. I don't think it'd crash the market. Like, there's more posts go on every day, Mech Market every day, than I have keyboards. There's like 1,000 posts on there, so it wouldn't crash anything. Do I have a supply for forged carbon fiber plates? Yes, I do, but I don't. I prefer standard carbon fiber plates to forged carbon fiber plates, purely because of the resin content. The resin content is significantly higher in forged carbon, it makes it sound closer to FR4 and feel closer to FR4 than true carbon fiber, like woven carbon fiber does. So I tend to prefer doing just standard twilled carbon fiber, woven carbon fiber, because it sounds better, it feels better, and it's a nicer material. I appreciate that forged carbon fiber looks okay, but yeah, if you do want something forged carbon fiber, we can do it, but I have to buy the forged carbon fiber in sheets, which are 8 feet by 4 feet, so I need to fill it or produce enough to fill it. So that's probably where we're going to struggle with that, Lupo. N+1 minus P. Where P is the number you would... where they would leave you. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, maybe. Don't forget, N is the number in hand plus in group buy that you're waiting for. Correct. It's the number of boards you've paid for, not the number of boards you have in physical context, right? Hanzo says, welcome back from holiday. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be back. Yeah, I say I'm glad to be back. Like, I do miss Mauritius. Like, it was amazing there. It was so hot. It was beautiful weather. It was great. Like, I genuinely loved being there, but it is nice to be back as well. I really miss the dog. Like, it got to, like, day 10, and I was really missing the dog. It's like, I just want to take the dog for a walk and cuddle up on the couch with the dog and give her some treats, because, like, that's hard. That's hard, but it is what it is. Lupus is fair enough. I understand the rationale now. I'll have a think. Kiwi and I wanted to get some plates for our springs and Kiwi mecha pads, but I doubt we'd fill a sheet that big. Yeah, I think Kiwi's reaching out to me tomorrow about something for carbon fiber. He messaged me the other day, so if he mentions it, and I can have a look. Love the holiday content. Nice to live vicariously. Yeah, I don't like sharing too much of my personal life. I share so much of what I do on Instagram and on streams and everything else. Sometimes I just need something for me, which is why content wasn't huge whilst I was away. I did, when I didn't post for a couple of days, I did get a couple of people ask if I was okay, because I hadn't posted anything for 2 days. Like, are you okay? Did you have an accident? Are you alive? I was like, yeah, I'm just like, I just need some things that are just for me. So a lot of the holiday I didn't want to share because it was just for me and the wife. And whilst we have a load of pictures and things like that and memories, I didn't want to share all of that on Instagram, because Instagram is more about me as a collector of cars and keyboards and drinking coffee and what we do here at PT, rather than necessarily my whole life. Some things I do need to keep a little bit private. But I'm an open book. If you ask, I'll always answer. Okay, right, with all that said and done, I think it's now time to start doing some unboxing. So let's flick over the camera and I'll show you a couple of things we've got. The first thing we have is this box here. Now, I have unsealed this, but I haven't opened it. Now, I believe that this is an artisan, so we'll see what's in here. Lots of nice bubble wrap. Okay, so you guys might recognize, there you go, this is the maker. Peaslake says, did I go for Glare TKL? No, I didn't. Okay, there we go, this is so cool. I love these. I have a few of these caps now, and these cards are just super cool. They're super cool. And here is the cap. There's the cap, guys. This is a commission one that a friend was kind enough to let me purchase. But that's super cool. Yeah, rubber hose, bad Chad. That's super cool. That's really cool. I'm really, really happy with that. One King Alera, hey man, good to see you, dude. You should have given Mel the keys to the account so we could have had her pointing at all the boxes that came in. I should have done, actually. We did talk about it before I went, and then we completely forgot. So it never happened. But we could have done that. We could have done that. Maybe we will do for future. I will be honest, my wife does have access to the Instagram, purely because she actually does a lot of the forwarding on for, like, group buys and stuff. So like if we share some of the content that's group buy related and it's not necessarily me pointing at stuff, it's not always me posting it. Sometimes it's my wife, and sometimes it's my wife that replies to some of the DMs as well. Like if it's a customer inquiry and stuff, she replies to some of those. Just because I get so many, I'd struggle to do it on my own. So sometimes we sit in front of the TV and go through them and reply to them all at the same time. Fine addition to my collection, General Javis. Nice. Good to see you too, cutie. I'm not cute. I am the furthest thing from cute in the world ever. But thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. As well as that, I did get 2 matrix boards in whilst I was away. Now, the first one I'm going to show you. This was actually something I purchased off the aftermarket because I'm so sensible that way. So I'm going to show you this first. See if you guys can guess what board this is. I haven't opened it yet. But this is a matrix board. Can any of you guess what it is from this? That mat's so sick. The mat's really cool, right? You apologise in advance for the amount of bubble wrap. Yeah, this is a board I personally own, yeah. It's one I've been looking for a while. It's a matrix board I've been looking for. Actually, I've been looking for one on and off for a couple of years. And I've never really found one available. And then all of a sudden I got offered 2 within the space of like a week. So I bought both, because that's just the way we do it. So this is the PCB, and this might give you some clues as to which board this is. Just look at the size of it, like compared to a TKL. It might give you a clue as to what it is. Yeah, it's a personal board, Kiwi. Yeah, and hey man, good to see you. Lytic says, just got into the hobby a week ago and missed the Matrix 3.0 ad group buy. Watched you build it on stream and loved it. Thanks very much, man. It was a good stream, was that. I'll actually be giving that board away. It's here. It's this board here. I'll be giving this board away at some point in the near future. One of the other things I've got to talk about after I've unboxed these 2 Matrix boards is the Matrix build stream that I'm going to do, where I think we're going to build 15 Matrix boards back to back to back to back and do like a 24-hour stream. And during that stream, I will be giving away this board. So there we go. Storesness, hey man, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. The PCB looks like a ATEX V1.2. I'll give you a clue. It's not that, and I'll tell you for why. Because it's too long. Look at the size of this board. Look at the size of it. You've got a TKO cluster. You've got a numpad, and you've got a main part of the board. Like, this is huge. Any ideas on what this is? It's not a Duck Blackbird, no irony. This is a Matrix Labs board. Matrix Build-a-thon where you auction off boards from your collection to thin it out. Hey, we could do that. We could do that. Yeah, donate like the value of the board, and I will send it to you. It's a keyboard. Yeah, JQ27. It is a keyboard. Yeah. Well done. You are right. I'm not going to take this out of here because it's just the PCB. Derek, you might be right. You might be right. And I like put a post up asking for one of these in the Matrix Discord, and I've been looking for one for on and off for a while, like for years actually, ever since the group buy in 2015. And even Albert, who I'm good friends with, wasn't able to like find me one. Although he could find me some parts, some PCBs and stuff like that if I needed them. But then I ended up getting offering two, so I actually bought both of them. This is the first one that I've paid for and has arrived. We will be rebuilding this at some point. So here we go. This is the Matrix Cane. Look at this layout. How awesome is that layout? This board is absolutely huge. Like next to a TKL, it's like a good chunk wider. This board is huge. And then you can, it's got the Cane logo here. It's one of the few 100% customs out there. It is a few years old now, so it has a lot of stylistic choices that probably wouldn't be made these days, such as the feet and things like that. But yeah, the orange is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not sure if this one came with the other badges. One of the ones I bought did, and one of the ones I bought didn't. I think this one did. Yeah. No, it's not quite close to the Datsun. It's a very different orange, actually. The Lodestone is actually is much closer to the Datsun in terms of colour. No, it's just aluminium. The orange is cool. This should be, if I remember rightly, the other options for here. There's like 3 or 4 different options you can pop here. This should be those, I think. Let's take a look and see. Whoops. Okay, yeah, so there's like a blank plate, which just has powered by Matrix Labs embossed into it. There is the Lego plate. This is designed to be able to click Lego onto, which is pretty cool. There is the black Lego plate. And then there's kind of like this this badge here, which kind of has an opening in it, and you can put different acrylic pieces in the opening to do different things. And I think some of these are in here, so this is where some of the acrylics are in there, so we can have a look at those when we do the build stream for it. But we'll be stripping this down, rebuilding it. Oh, it's got linears in it. Nice. They feel pretty good actually. But we're going to be redoing the whole board at some point soon. Matrix boards are always so nuts. Yeah, right? Matrix boards are cool as hell. This is why I love them so much, because they just do so many different things that most people don't think about. And most designers don't do. Like I've worked with some great designers in this hobby, and some of the things that Matrix Labs do, most designers would just not even touch with a barge pole, but they come out so good. The acrylic in there doesn't actually fit the silver part though. Well, we can cut some acrylic here in the workshop if we need to make it fit. We have plenty of acrylic. The build is nice, but it sounds interesting. Well, we'll be rebuilding them, I'm afraid. I like to build my own boards rather than have people's previous builds. I can find some Lego to put it on. To put on it then when we build it, yeah. Does the board support ISO? No, I don't think the PCB supports either. Let's have a look. Does the PCB support ISO? The PCB does not support ISO, no. It only supports ANSI, which is where the enter sits here. Which is a shame, but it's one of those things. I don't think there was ever an ISO PCB made for this. I could probably, if I fund it, get Albert to make some, but there's so few of these boards around. I think they only made 50 that it's probably not going to be actually worthwhile to do so. Important question. Oh yeah, I need that matrix toils, but I'm scared of how much it will cost. Yeah, I'm really excited for toils as well. I will definitely be purchasing one of those. I'm not sure how Albert and Astro are going to do that one for the Great Fight. We'll have to see, but I'm super interested for it. Okay, so that's box number 1. We do have a second board to unbox as well. About 50, I think, P's like, of the Matrix came. Unless you mean will the Matrix toils cost like $15, in which case, no, it will be like 1,000 times that. Okay, this is a second board. I will need to try and cut through this. I don't have a knife to hand, I don't think. Right, I'm going to grab a knife. Give me like 30 seconds, guys, to grab a knife, because otherwise it'll take me half an hour. There we go. We have a knife now. But this is the final board I was waiting for to be able to do the Matrix build stream. Iron Plus, maybe. If we can get it out of the box even. Oh god, this is heavy. Man, that's heavy. That's what it is. Hat. If you can't see it, there's H, A, and that's a T. Mr. Hat.
Tasty, tasty.
Tidal, thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that, dude. I hope you're keeping well. I'm super excited for this. Oh, it's already split open. We should. Cool box. Yeah, I love everything that Matrix does. Like, everything just comes so nicely prepared. Huge, huge fan. Even this, like the cutout here. This is a cutout. Like, the packaging is just so great. The thing is nutty. Yeah, a lot of Matrix boards are, and I love them for that. First of all, we have a little package. Let's see what's in here. I think the only Matrix board I've ever been disappointed in was the Noah. Everything else I've loved. Oh, okay. There we go. Little Mr. Hat. Badge and screen. That's pretty cool. Marcos, yeah. I think that's all that's in there. Yep, that's all that's in there. I'm gonna assume that this will be the PCB and plate and other stuff as well. Wow, lots of stuff. Okay, so we've got the plate here. We have the foam, hot swap PCB, I think I actually have another PCB that'll fit in this board that's not hot swap, I think. Oh, and it's worth bearing in mind that this is in 2 parts as well, so that when we take off this piece at the bottom, there'll actually be 2 PCBs here. You can see there's a gap. It is 2 PCBs. Got a mesh plate? Yeah. I have got a Falcon, yes. Feet. A JST cable. Some gasket grommets. Some more cables. And some screws and standoffs. So lots and lots of stuff in that box there. Let's put this back. Don't want to lose anything from this. Yeah, I've got most of the Matrix boards that have been released in the past 4 years, I think. I think I have 15 or so to build on the 24-hour build stream that we're going to do. And then here is the board. Oh gosh, this is so heavy. Come on out. There we go. Oh my god, that's so heavy. So this is the Iron Plus Mr. Hat Christmas edition. How cool is this? This is like the epitome of cool. Like, part of the plate's already in here. The part that's fixed. You can see this is where the casing goes. And look at that weight inside. Yeah, this is the latte. And then on the back, of course, we've got the Mr. Hat. I believe that's just magnetized in place, which is so cool. And of course then we've got the Matrix X at the other side. And then on the base of it, this is just amazing. Look at this. Look how cool this is. Look at all the little different bits and pieces. And yeah, the latte is such a good colour. Gotta love beige though, right? And is the battery magnetic on this one? No, it's not. Yeah, this is super, super cool. I'm so lucky to have this. Like, this is amazing. Just look at that weight. Look at all the stuff on that weight. Look at it. It's so cool. It's so cool. I just can't get over how cool this board is. Like, it's just something so different from the norm as well. Like, it's just so out there and crazy compared to what is usually the case. I'm super excited to build this. This is going to be built on our build stream where we do all of the Matrix boards. So disassemble the whole thing during the marathon. Right, that's it though. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29 different parts to this board. This is the latte, Mr. Hat. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 different parts to this board. 34 different parts. Just in terms of case parts. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's huge. It's amazing though. Like, I'm so excited for this. I really, really can't wait to get this built. This is going to be living on my desk once it's built, I think, almost permanently. But anyway, that is the second Matrix board we're unboxing today. So that's the Kane and the Matrix Iron Plus Mr. Hat edition, Christmas edition. I don't know why they even do a Christmas edition. Like, it's so weird, but it's so cool at the same time. Yeah, it's got a lot of parts. It's got a lot of parts. Okay. Let's put this away nice and neat and tidy. And then we can get onto the Dalco 959 mini build, which I know is what some of you are here for. Xmas editions always felt like a nice surprise. Yeah, for sure. I have a couple of Xmas editions. But this is the latest one. So there we go. That's the 2 boards. That felt like a marathon opening. That felt like huge. I ordered an 8XV from you from the States, and it saved me $100 in shipping and taxes. What, really? Really? Did it really? I don't see how that's even possible, right? Like, I know that I don't have to charge US sales tax, and Novelkeys do. But will you not pay import fees? I think it's $800, isn't it? So, what's $800 in pounds? If it's over $800, you'll pay import fees, I think. So what's $800 in pounds? So if you spent more than 620-ish pounds, then you might get import fees, I think. The desk mat? Yeah, it's cool as the desk mat. It's from Brocaps. California tax like 10%. But I don't really understand US taxes. I know you have sales tax, which is different from state to state, and it can even be different from city to city, I think, within states sometimes. I know that I don't have to charge it, but if I ship something to you, some people, if it's a really expensive item or a really expensive order, they do end up getting charged some import fees, I think. But I'm not sure on the details of it. But yeah, if it saved you money, it saved you money. That's cool. Right, okay, let's take a look at the board we're going to be building today. We've only been streaming like 45 minutes.
Tasty, tasty.
N360, thank you so much for the 3 months of subs, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, we've been streaming for like 45 minutes and you haven't even seen it. Am I going to play the new Lego Star Wars game? I'd love to title, I really would, but finding the time, I'll struggle. I have bought it. I hope I find the time to play it. Okay. So first things first, we have an O-ring. Always good to have O-rings. We have a JST connector and a PCB. This is the Dalco 959 mini PCB by Max at Cable Car Designs. I love the yellow. The yellow's cool. How was the vacation? The vacation was amazing. It was really, really cool. We had such a good time over in Mauritius. And we do also have a polycarbonate plate. Now, I did order this as ISO and it's turned up as ANSI. So we're going to have to build it as ANSI today, but hey, it is what it is. I haven't reached out to Lewis yet to see if he's got an ISO one, but we might do it at some point in the future. But this is what we're going to go with for today. Fingers crossed, no JST issues this day. Yeah. I haven't finished the Lego Falcon set. No, I will finish it on stream. So the Lego Falcon is pretty much in the same state as the last stream, apart from Mel knocked it over and knocked a few parts off. It's still on her to-do list to fix those parts, but once she has done, I will try and do more streaming. Once we get this big shipment of orders out, I'm going to start trying to do streams 3 or 4 times a week. We're going to do a workshop stream every Wednesday morning where we do stuff in the workshop, making stuff. We're going to do a Lego stream once a week as well because I have a ton of Lego sets to do. So we're going to start doing a Lego stream probably on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, maybe, we'll see. And then we'll still have the keyboard build streams every Sunday. That's the plan. But the Lego itself hasn't changed. It's just over here, actually. It hasn't changed at all since the last stream. It's been the same for like a year. It is what it is. I just don't find the time to do stuff sometimes. Okay, and here is the 959 Mini itself. You can see it's got the aluminium plate installed already, which does support ANSI and ISO. So maybe we will build this ISO. I was going to build it with the polycarb, but maybe we just stick with the aluminium and we go with ISO. That sounds better, actually. Yeah, let's go with ISO on the alu plate here. Let's do that. That's got to be the play. That's got to be the play. Icy Keeps, hey man, good to see you, dude. I'm not sure, Lex. I don't really keep up with stuff, so if they are, I haven't seen it, but they may well be. I don't think it's the hottest 60%. I mean, it's nice, but it's not like, I don't know. I don't think this is like the best 60% on the market, and I haven't typed on it yet, so that will help. But this is the GT edition. I mean, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that it's not. It is absolutely stunning, but like, we'll see. We'll see. It is lovely, but whoops, it is lovely, but I'm not sure if it's the best 60% on the market. We'll see how it sounds and how it feels when it's built, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so that's the board. This is the PCB. I believe the JST port. Okay, so it didn't come with the daughter board, did it? Let's have a look. Why is there no daughter board? I thought the daughter board was installed in the case. Let's see where that is. That must be in here somewhere. Must be in here. Okay, we found screws. Oh, we found the feet as well. Did we find the daughter board? No. So it didn't come with a daughter board. No daughter board contained. Luckily, I have quite a few daughter boards lying around, so we will test the PCB and see if it works with one of these daughter boards first, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's plug this in and give it a test. Whoops. Okay, for those that you don't know, I have like a dragon on top of my monitor, and it's just decided it wanted to fall off. Okay, I'm just going to take it down because it has decided that it wants to fall. Come on. Come on. This is my dragon. It sits on top of my monitor, but yeah, it fell off. Okay, so we don't have a daughter board, but we have got one connected. Let's see if we can test this in a VIA. And I'll share the VIA screen with you guys as well. Okay, I'm going to assume it's the Prophet that it's come up as, because that's the only VIA PCB I have in place. Let's set the layouts. So we're going to build this as ISO wing keyless. So we're going to do a, yeah, that's right, 7 row, bottom row. Backspace we're going to do as normal. Left shift we're going to do a split. Okay, there we go. Let's jump over to the key tester. And let's test the matrix. Let's make sure this actually works. Okay. I'm not going to test every key. I'm just going to test a few, make sure it's working just fine. Okay, so the daughter board we have works. Sometimes I get a little bit nervous with daughter boards because, well, they don't always do what they're supposed to. Just going to test the ISO specific keys here as well. Like sometimes daughter boards that you have that you expect to work don't, because the pinout is slightly different. Okay, looks like we're good. Okay, looks like we're good. Oh, I didn't even share VIA with you. Why is that not sharing? Let's see why that's not sharing. There we go. Okay, so as you can see now, he says, why is it doing that? What is going on? Right, okay, now you can see VIA. Right, okay. So as you can see, when I test stuff on the PCB, it is working just fine. So we'll use the Heine daughter board rather than the standard daughter board it's supposed to come with, because that's all I have on hand. Okay, I'm comfortable that that's going to be good enough. Does it have bump-ons? It has these rubber strips for feet. These look like they've been die cut, but not particularly well. Like, it doesn't look like it's been cut straight. Like, this is going to be really super hard to show you. But there's like a kink in it here that looks like the die that would cut it was curved, not the fact that it... Like, is that even possible to show you guys? It's not going to focus on it, is it? It just doesn't look like it was cut straight. Yeah, I'd be disappointed in these. Like, it wouldn't cost much to do these as injection molded and have them perfect. But there's like if I lay it flat on here, you can see there's actually that's not a bend in it. That's the way it was cut. It was cut at an angle. I might not use these, and I might laser cut my own. Oh, this one's even worse. This one has like 2 kinks. It goes in the wrong direction twice. I might just laser cut my own feet for this. Like, it's just not square. Can you see? It's like if I put it on that line there, it just like these aren't straight at all. Yeah. Like if you put them next to each other, you can see the gaps where they bend away from each other. Is what it is. Whatever. I might not use those, and we might. I might just cut my own on the laser cutter for that. Like a drunk driving home. Yeah. I mean, this is $1,000 board. Or close to it. How much did I pay for this? Let me have a look. Let me have a look. £720 British pounds. What's that in US dollars? $940 I paid for the board. Yeah, $940, $939. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm happy with those. The corner rounding's slightly different as well. Like it's rounder on one side and square on the other. Like it's gonna be so hard to show you. But the corners here are slightly rounded, whereas the corners on this side are much squarer. I don't know. It's artisanal, hand cut. Maybe, I mean, they could be hand cut. It looks like it varies in width as well. I don't know. Well, I might just make my own. I might just measure these and make my own feet because I can make them squarer than that. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just not going to fit. Like it's too long as well.
Incredible.
Yeah, like it's just going to ruin the look of the board because it's not going to, even if this is so hard to show because it's all black on black, but like, even if I stick them in, like they're just not going to be straight. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to use those. Let's just go without those for now. I'm really worried about scratching this base now though. Oh, it has loads of scratches in it already. Wait, is this supposed to be A stock? Like I've just this board hasn't been on my desk before, but there is a number. These all dots here. These are all scratches. These are all scratches. Like these don't polish out. Like this here is where I will polish out, but these dots here, these are all scratches. Like it's impossible to show you because it's reflecting. But these dots here, they're all scratches. No, there's no film on it. There wasn't a film on it either when it arrived. I mean, this came straight from Lewis. I would have thought this would have been okay. But yeah, these are all scratches. They're not even marks. I don't know. I just how you saw me take it out of the box is how it arrived. I picked it up and handled it before, but I haven't put it on the desk. And I put it back in the case as it came out. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. Okay, let's get a screwdriver and start taking this apart so we can do the build. I think this is the right size. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what you mean by vice down. I haven't taken this apart before. This is the first time I've taken it apart. Looks like we need a slightly smaller driver for up here. I mean, I don't want to speak bad of someone. I really don't. Like that's the last thing I want to do on stream, so I'm not going to say anything. Like, I'll see if I can get when I take this piece out.
Incredible.
Okay, let's see if we can get these screws out. Okay, I have just knocked one screw on the floor, but that's fine. That's fine. Where did that go? Okay, bad idea to use this desk mat, I think. But oh, there we go. Right. Okay, let's. So British. Like, I mean, the thing is, like, I'm a streamer, but I'm a vendor, so the last thing I want to do is upset someone that I know and care about. Okay. So I mean, I think, like, on the inside edges, like, there's some marks and machining marks, and that's fine. I don't expect that to be perfect. It's inside the case after all. But these marks up here, all of these shiny bits here, it's not going to focus. Like, hold on. Like, all of these marks here, these are all scratches and scuffs. See how they don't go? And there's a few at this side as well, not so many, but there's a few at this side as well. Come on, please focus. Go, camera. You can do it, camera. I believe in you. There's a couple just here as well. It's polished stainless steel. Like, it is on the main weight as well. It's not like it's even just on one of the pieces, it's like on both. Screws just slightly stuck. Okay, yeah, you can see here, these marks here, all of these dots here, they're all scratches as well. Like, you can see it's got like a palm print off me. That's a hair. That's fine. Like, I know I'm gonna get like marks on it as I build it. That's fine. But all of these won't polish out. Like this mark up here, like you can see if I rub that, that's gonna smudge and go. But these ones here, these are all permanently in board. I mean, I've done polished stainless steel parts before and I had these issues when I've sent them to customers. I don't want to come across as someone who's complaining, but I am a little bit disappointed in that. Like the inside, you can see the mill marks on it as well, which is fine. Like it's fine on the inside. Like I get that they're going to be there. You can't hand polish everything. The black anodization looks pretty good. There's a slight chip in it here, but it's on the inside again. That mark there's a chip. It's physically a groove that I can feel my fingertip. It is very dusty inside as well. That could have just been because it's been in the case for a while. Outside the case looks good. Curves look really nice. Another slight chip just here. Again, it's on what I'd class as part of the inside case. So where the screw hole is, just on the inside, there's a little part there. That's another groove just there, if you can see. Very tiny dot just where my fingertip is. Yeah, there's no film on it. This is just how it came. Very dusty though. Okay, here's what it is. Is what it is. Right, I'm just going to lay these two rubber strips down just so we don't scratch this. And what we'll do is we'll install the daughter board that we found from my tray. I'm hoping the screws in here for this. Looks like the M2 one should do. Let's just test this, make sure it's the right size before we put them all in. Yeah, those are the ones. these screws in here.
Tasty, tasty.
J Saints, thank you so much for the follow, man, the subscription too. The F2 issues were chipping on corners, not scratches. Yeah, I vaguely remember the F2 issues. I didn't buy an F2 actually. Although I have a load of F1s. I think I have 6 F1s. Right, okay, let's get the door support installed. So to do this, all I'm going to do is pop the door support in place. I'm just going to screw one corner down 75% of the way, just so it's gripping, but we can still move and get a bit of lateral movement on there. And we're going to tighten the second one down, making sure it's fully aligned. Go back and tighten the first one, and then put the second 2 screws in. It's like you know when the alpacas are going to be restocking. Wait, what? I'm not sure what you mean, not Stevie. We won't be restocking alpacas for a while. We do it as a group of vendors. So I work with Holton, who's the designer of them, and a few other people. And when we put a bulk order in, we put a bulk order in. So it'll happen whenever that next bulk order goes in. I don't know when that'll be, if that's what you mean. Curious as to what you think the best 60% of the market is then, as you said, this ain't it. JO2 Blackout Edition. We've got the final prototype. We've done 2 rounds of prototyping. The final one is on its way to me at the moment. So yeah, that should be not too far away. And we're going to do that as a pre-order only. It's not going to be a group buy. They're all going to be in manufacturing before anything happens. And then we'll do it as a pre-order rather than a group buy. Right, okay. Now we've done that, time to take out the top case. We've got the door support in. That's all looking good and fine. I don't like these screws here. Again, we need a bigger size driver. 3 different size screws. I'm not keen on this. I think there's some round-headed screws we could use for this in the packet. So, in fact, actually, do you know what? We're not going to use the screws anyway. We're going to use the gasket gummy O-ring mount. So, we can take these screws out. Pcb will do 200 units. We'll order 200 units once we've signed off on the final prototype, and then when they're about 3 months from finishing production, we'll start the pre-order, I think. That's the plan. Okay, there we go. Plates out. The top is really simple. Like, really, really simple. A couple of scuff marks in here. These are anodization hook marks. Not much you can do about them. Come on, camera, please focus. Can you see those? Camera. It's going to be difficult to show you. There is a couple of little hook marks in there. So hard to show you on black. Come on, camera, please. It's so hard to show you. There is, you're going to have to believe me, there is a couple of little hook marks just on the inside. Why can I not show? There, that little dot there, that's a hook mark, and there's another one just here. So impossible to show you this on camera. Yeah, it's just not going to focus. Okay, there's 2 on the other side as well. In fact, they're actually scratched on the other side. Please, camera. There, can you see? There's like a scratch just here. And there's another one just there as well. Like, this is so hard to show you. There you, oh, there you go. Like, you can see it perfectly. Scratch just here. And there is another smaller one just here as well. So you won't be able to see those from building it, but again, I would have expected them to have been able to use some of these screw holes for hook points rather than using the actual side of the case. I mean, all it is like a prong that goes under and holds and on 2 sides, so they hold it like this. Well, they actually hold it like that, and then they'll dunk it in. But I would have thought they'd have been able to use the screw points for it. I mean, this is like, it's $1,000 keyboard. I'm a little bit disappointed on that as well. I don't know. I mean, I thought Lewis and I were friends, so I wouldn't have thought he would have sent me a B-stock unit. Okay. Now we've got this far. The next job is to get some stabilizers ready to put in the board. Now we're going to go full backspace, ISO enter, and 7U spacebar. Oh, the plate's bent as well. Can you see? The plate's bowed. It's going to be impossible to get that to focus. You see how the plate's bowed? like, is that actually... Is that going to be out? When I flatten that, is that going to be out? Is that going to adjust the tolerances? I don't know. Maybe it'll be okay. What the hell's going on with this? Okay, right. Stabilizer time. Let's get some stabilizers. We're going to be using Owl Lab stabilizers for this, because this is what I have to hand. This is an 80% pack. These are in stock on the website, by the way, if you are interested in purchasing some stabilizers. We do sell these. We are looking to restock Stabies and a few other types as well, but I think we still have these in stock. In fact, I know we do. Right, okay. So, what stabilizers do we need? We need a 2U for the ISO enter, a 2U for the backspace, and we need a 7U for the spacebar. And that's it. That's all we need, just the 3. I'm going to split both shifts. I'm sure Lewis wouldn't have sent me anything but A stock. But I have to admit being a little bit disappointed. Come on out. Stabilize it. There we go. Right, okay. That's all we need from that box. Right, now we can start popping these stabilizers together and getting them all lubed up.
Incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm going to try and pronounce it. Tokanita de Jokuri, I'm going to guess. Districts, hello, I'm French and I'm happy to meet people of this discipline so little known. Hey man, good to see you. Bonjour, je m'appelle Jay. J'habite à Bradford, dans la UK. My French is terrible, but I will try. Don't worry. I'm just going to call you Tucker because it's easier. Yeah, Woody's laughing because he knows that that's my GCSE French from 25 years ago popping out. So please rate me Destrix on my French accent, my French pronunciation and accent. I'm sure it's terrible, but please give me a rating on that. Smooth, Jay, smooth. I know, right? No Mel on streams? No, Mel. I like this is just for me. I mean, it's 8 p.m., 9 p.m. on a Sunday night. Mel doesn't work at this time. She works during the week. Right. Okay, we're lubing stabilizers. What am I doing with that? What else do I know in French? Je ne comprends pas. I do not understand. Parlez-vous en anglais, s'il vous plaît? Do you speak English? Où est la gare? Where's the train station? Quelle heure est-il? What time is it? C'est combien? How much? This is like the limit of my French. It's good. It's not a problem. Like, I know so little French. I apologize. Like, this is all from literally 20 years ago now. I finished school in 2000, so I haven't spoken French since then. Omelette du fromage. Un croque monsieur s'il vous plaît, right? That's about right. Un jus d'orange, chocolat chaud, café au lait, thé au lait.
Incredible.
I'm struggling to remember anything else in French. Thank you so much for the follow, District. I'm sorry that my French is so bad. I'm not laughing at the French. I'm laughing at my limited ability to speak French. The thing is, I got an A at GCSE. I was quite good at it at GCSE. Clearly, that's just been forgotten. I remember struggling with like avoir and être, like which verb applied for which or something. I can't remember now. It's so long ago. It is so long ago that I have no idea. Whoops. Okay, you guys are showing off now. You know way more French than I do. I should speak more French. I should. I love the thock. I'm not sure what the do clavier MDR is. I'm not sure what that means. But I love the thock. I get that bit. Yeah, be a super player. Yeah, like there's I can say I'd like a beer in a few different languages. Like Spanish is una cerveza por favor. Yeah, I've learned that one. That's always important. I should have learned it in Creole when we went to Mauritius. Actually, and I didn't. I should have tried to learn a little bit of Creole. Do clavieres of the keyboard? Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jay Saints. My French is terrible. You're gonna be laughing at me. Yeah, Où est la piscine? I remember that. Je joue aux jeux vidéo or something like that. I play video games, right? I like to play video games. I don't know. Like a load of phrases are coming back to me, which I don't know whether they're right or wrong, but like a load of phrases are coming back to me. This is 20 years ago though now. Literally 20 years ago. 22 years ago. It's kind of scary how quick that's gone actually. Do I know any French vendors? I don't think there is any French vendors. Some French designers. You're basically fluent, right? I mean, if like a French person tells me I'm fluent, I must be right. That's how it works. French vendors. No, I can think of 2 French designers. Enjoy and Beep. I'm pretty sure they're both French. I can't think of any French vendors right now. But within the EU, it's pretty much easy to just use EU vendors anyway. Like you don't need particularly region ones. Oh, that's way too much. There we go, that's better. So I don't have any income at all. Destrix. I run Prototypist keyboards here in the UK. That's my store, but I don't take any income from that. I have no other job, but I do this full time, and I stream on weekends. But the streams are all my personal builds, and there we go. That's that one done. And Prototypist is kind of like what I do. I can't really say as a living because I don't make money from it. I do it because I love the hobby and because I want to see the hobby do well here in the UK. But yeah, it's my job, but I'm more of a I'm a volunteer director. I run the business, I own the business, but I don't take any personal payment from it. Although that will change actually this month. I will earn minimum wage here in the UK from the end of this month, I think. I think there's a legal requirement that I have to pay myself. So I'm paying myself minimum wage. Technically, although we have 5 employees, I will be the lowest paid employee. It's a charity. I think it counts as a job. I don't know. Is it a job if you don't get paid? Is it a job if you don't get paid? We need an Azerty layout today. I do have Azerty keycaps, but I don't have them to hand, I'm afraid. I actually have some French die subs and OG French die subs and double shots, actually. But I don't know where they are. They're not to hand. I can't just go and grab them quite quickly, unfortunately. Minimum wage, yeah. It's report my boss for it, yeah. I like to joke that I asked myself for a pay rise and I gave myself 100% pay rise, but 100% of 0 is still 0. I like to make that joke. My annual pay rise was 100%. But 100% of 0 is still 0. Guess you're an artist. As you do what you like, but you don't get paid for it. I'm not an artist. I'm definitely not an artist. I'm not a designer. I'm not an artist. I'm just a bum. Let's call myself. I'm just a bum, right? That's it. That's what I am. Okay. So stabilizers are all looped up. I nearly knocked the loop over, but I caught it. Right, let's get the stabilizers installed on the board. That Fox desk mat was pretty nice, though. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't class myself as a designer. I've done one key set, GMK Midnight Rainbow, and I've done a couple of desk mats now. I've done 4 desk mats, I think, some of which you've seen in public, some of which haven't been seen in public. And of course, I've been heavily involved with the process for every iteration of the JO1 and the JO2s, although 90% of the CAD work historically has been, well, most of the CAD work, all of the CAD work historically had been done by other people. Going forward from the JO2 Blackout Edition, it will all be in-house prototypists done, rather than through external designers. Right, where's the ISO enter? There. In a way, you're paying yourself, but you're just investing it all back into the company. I mean, I've invested way more than what I will ever take out of the company back into the company, if that makes sense. Wait, where's the other? Oh, there it is. I'm just being blind. Sorry, guys. Like, I've invested of my own personal money well into 7 figures. Well into 7 figures. Of my own personal money into prototypists to buy extras of group wise. Yeah, Midnight Rainbow is mine. Kiwi, yeah. It will be coming back, actually. Midnight Rainbow and Daylight Rainbow will come back at some point in the future. Well, Daylight Rainbow will be new. It's never been done before, but we're just waiting for the GMK queue to settle down a little bit, and then we might even do it as in stock, I think, rather than do it as group buy. There we go. Okay, now we've done that, we can pop the stabilizers in place. See if we can get this one settled in. It's white. It's basically all white. So these aren't band-aids as such. It's very similar, but these come with the Owl Lab stabilizers. So these aren't the traditional band-aid mod, but they're very similar. But these are specific, kind of almost like a shim that sits underneath the stabilizer, and these come with the stabilizer kit. This is the Owl Lab 80% stabilizer kits. We have them in stock if you're interested. So yeah, but these come with it. Whoops. Okay, let's see if we can get this one screwed in. Vintage Rainbow when. So there's actually 3 sets designed for in the Rainbow series. There's Midnight Rainbow, which we ran a couple of years ago and delivered this time last year. There is, of course, Daylight Rainbow, which is on white, WS1 white to match GMK Minimal. Then there is also Twilight Rainbow as well, which has been designed but won't run unless Daylight Rainbow and Midnight Rainbow round 2 are successful. But the designs for all 3 are done. The colors are chosen. Like it's all done and ready to go. We're just literally waiting for the GMK queue right now. usually designers get paid for their designs as well. Like they take a profit of like the revenue that the group buys, percentage of the revenue that the group buys generate. But I didn't take any for the original Midnight Rainbow. That all ended up with the vendors, which was a personal decision. I just didn't feel like it was fair for me to profit off of the community, so I let it all stay with the vendors on that one. Do I use the weird little bumper that was that sit under the wire jack? I do, yes, I do. I actually quite like those. I'll show you when I install them in a second. Actually, I quite like them, especially on the space bars and the longer stabilizer. Like the 2U ones aren't too bad without them, but I definitely like them on the space bars, the 7U or 6.25U. Yeah, I definitely prefer them on that. Even the French don't like the Azerty keyboard. The French try the International QWERTY or the Beppo. Yeah, I've never tried a Beppo before, but I do have some vintage French Azerty layout keycaps, OG ones in double shot and dice up as well. They're pretty cool. One of the things I'm trying to do is collect all of the languages in dice up and double shot that Cherry supported back in the day. I have quite a few. Obviously, I have UK, German, Belgian, Czechoslovakian, French, Portuguese, probably a few others I can't think of as well. Okay. Oops. Popping the wire out there. Didn't do that. There we go. So you can see now I've installed these little black rubber pieces underneath the wires, and this just helps prevent rattle. You can see on the space bar I've actually spaced them out and put 2 underneath it, 1 at each side. I've alternated the sides that they sit on as well, just helps to keep the wire stable and stop it rattling on the PCB. I'm a huge fan of these. I don't know how much value they actually add, but I just really like them. I think they're a nice little touch, and even if it's just a placebo, I'm interested in doing it. I do have Swiss ISO, Swiss double shots and die subs. Yeah, I do have Swiss ones. In fact, I might even have the board to hand that's got the die subs on if you want to see it. If you would like to see that, just let me know. Just say in chat, show me the keyboard, and I will go grab it. I think it's just literally over here. But yeah, the Swiss ones are pretty cool. There we go. Right, that's that and that done. I don't need those anymore. Okay, there's a little O-ring here. Let's see if we can catch that. You would really like to see it. Okay, let me see if I can grab it. I'll be really quick. Give me 5 seconds. Okay, so this is the OG Swiss dice-up keyboard. These are OG Cherry keycaps made by Cherry back in the day. The same molds that GMK have now, but these are the PBT dice-ups. Let me see if I can pop one off and show you. And the code on the back, so this is how you can tell. So all of the vintage boards, they have a code on the back here, so you can see this is a G81, which is the model number, 3081, which is the again part of the model number, and then SBC. So the S stands for dice up keycaps. These are PBT dice up, that's what the S stands for. The B is the type of switch that they're on, so these are MY switches, I believe. And then the C is the country it's for, the actual code it's for. Now I think C is Swiss, so there you go. I actually have 2 of these. This is the one in the better condition, but I also have the double shot version as well. but it's pretty much new in box. So we go. Hey Threx, good to see you, man. Okay, now we've got the stabilizers in place. Let's see and to make sure the plate fits. Oh man, why is this so tight?
Tasty, tasty.
The plate doesn't actually fit on the stabilizers. Okay. It's a really tight squeeze to get it on. Can you see how much this is bowed? Like, it's really hard to show you. But the plate and the PCB are bowed away from each other. It is so tight on this housing here. Like, it just doesn't want to go onto it. No foam. No, I don't like foam on this. This particular board doesn't come with it either. Right, let's get some switches in here and see if we can rescue this build. These are the last switches of my cherry-picked vintage blacks. These are all lubed with Krytox 105. So these are just oil lubed. These are the last ones I have. These are super smooth, and this is from a huge batch I had of about 600, and these are the best of that 600 bunch. They've all been cleaned. They're super clean. Super clean. They've been ultrasonic cleaned. Springs lubed and housings lubed with Krytox 105 as an oil. So let's see if we can't get some of these in position and start to pull the whole board together. Yeah, I don't know if the plate file's been released for this. Like, if it has, great, because I'll make an ISO POM plate. Oh, I forgot that these weren't. Right, the other issue I have here is because these aren't. I might have to change switches because these aren't 5-pin. They're just not going to hold into the PCB, so we're going to have to, like if you look, you can see how much it's bowed because this switches into the PCB properly. Come on, camera, focus, please, camera. This switches into the PCB properly. You can see that it comes through, the pins pop through, but then you can see that these switches actually don't sit on the PCB where they should because the plate's bowed. So we can solder this, but we're going to have to put pressure on it to solder it in place. Even if I do bend it slightly the other way, what's going to happen is the gap between this stabilizer and this stabilizer is a set distance, it's 7 units. But on the plate it's slightly longer, so to fit it on the plate has to pop up in the middle. That's the issue. The plate is slightly out, I think. So even if I do bend the plate the other way, it's not going to work. When I solder it, what I'll do is apply pressure, blind disobedience. I'll apply pressure as I solder the pins, and then I'll keep that pressure on once I move the soldering iron away, and the firmness of the soldering connection will hold it in place. I mean, this is a $1,000 keyboard, right? I wonder if the POM plate's any better, actually. We'd have to go ISO, ANSI for that rather than ISO, though, which I don't really want to do. Cut it. I could, but not quickly or easily. So I can't cut this plate on stream. Okay, remember we're doing this wing keyless. This is a wing keyless board, so we're not going to be putting a switch here or here. Thanks, Oxy. I'll take a look later on. We'll see if I feel like doing that. I may not. Okay, we're gonna go split right shift here as well. Just because I prefer it better. Especially with it being wing keyless, it's nice to just have that option for an extra key there for an FN function. Okay, the more switches we get in, the more it's actually holding together a little bit better, but I still don't think it's perfect. Once we start soldering it though, it'll be okay. What we'll do is we'll actually do a full column down the middle, and then we'll do a column at either side, and that should hold everything together nicely at that point. I think some of these switches aren't going to even hold into the plate either. When we turn this over to solder it, I think some of them are going to pop out. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that one's not going to stay in. We'll have to do that one manually at the end. The ISO enter one. Okay, almost there now. Almost have all the switches in place. And remember guys, when we're soldering, you guys can ask anything you would like and I will answer it and be completely 100% open and honest with you where I can be. As long as it's Twitch safe, you can ask me a question about anything that you would like. Be it work related, PT related, keyboard related, or otherwise. All you need to do is just tag me with @J bless me, @JPrototypist, and then ask your question, and I will go through each of the questions in turn all the way through while I'm soldering. So you can ask me anything at all that you would like. It doesn't have to be related to keyboards. You can ask me about math, science, history, love, you name it, you can ask it. All you need to do is just tag me with @JPrototypist, and I will do my best to answer those. Designer's pricing made this keyboard so expensive. I mean, it is made from raw aluminium and made from milled aluminium, which has been anodized black, and it's also made from stainless steel, so it's not going to be cheap to produce, but I imagine there was a healthy profit margin on it as well. Okay, right, so time to stabilize. Thank you for the bless you, Oxy. I've been sneezing quite a bit since I came back to the UK, but I don't have COVID. It was the first thing I checked. I've been doing lateral flow tests every day since we got back. Okay, so ask away, guys. Ask any question that you would like. It can be about any topic that you would like at all. Nothing is off the table. Everything is on the table. No question will go unanswered as long as you ask it whilst I'm soldering. Yeah, I'm just about to check for bent pins. I don't think there'll be any. Whoops. Well, that switch didn't like to stay in it either, whatever the switch that was. So I'm just going to go through, check for bent pins. I know not all of the switches are in place correctly, so we're going to have to pin it down and make sure that they go through, but I'm just making sure that they're all going to come through correctly. It's looking good so far. Okay, no bent pins. No bent pins. No bent pins, but 3 switches that are falling out. We'll have to get some more for it. Right. Matt says, on the Zoom 65, is it a limited quantity for each colour? Depends on which one you mean, Matt. If you mean the April or March batches, yes, they're limited. If you mean the Essential Edition, that's unlimited for all colours. But it is a soft limit, which means that eventually we will have to stop selling them because we'll hit a soft limit. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just putting a little bit of solder on a pin, soldering into position, and then letting it set. And then what I'm doing is I'm reheating the solder and pushing the switch down to make sure it's seated correctly. And we're going to basically do a column like that. So we're going to basically solder each of these switches twice. We're going to push it in place. We're going to reheat it, let it cool down and set, and then we're going to move on to the other pin. Okay, my nose is running. Excuse me for a second. Oh, we're having a nosebleed. Interesting. Jason says, do you recommend lubing springs, or do you think it's not particularly necessary for most switches? I like to lube springs. I mean, that's a personal choice, but to each their own. I think you have a real risk of spring ping if you don't. And one thing I really detest is pinginess in springs. Okay. I'm going to move on to the third switch in the column here. And again, we're just going to solder one pin. We're going to press that switch into place. We're going to reheat that pin, then let it cool down while we're applying pressure to make sure it's seated correctly. But yeah, I don't think that if I'm lubing a switch, you might as well lube the spring, right? That's my view. The little click you heard was the switch popping down once I'd re-soldered the pin, just to make sure it was all correctly seated. Okay, and we're going to do the last one, which is going to be the space bar. Okay, now before we carry on soldering, we're just going to check that those are all seated nice and flat on the keyboard. And you can see that the space bar one this is nice and flush here. And then if we check the one that we soldered at the back, that's nice and flush as well. So now we're going to do the same process at the edges. You can see here that it's kind of pulling away naturally. So we're going to push it into place, and then we can do that with all of the switches. Once we've got this done, we can go switch by switch. Ice Baby says, what's my most expensive keyboard build? Okay, so I'm going to ask you to clarify. Do you mean the keyboard that I have that's worth the most, or the one that cost me the most in cash to build? Depending on which it is, it's a different answer, you see. So let me know which one you mean, Ice Baby. We'll go for that. What's my favorite French food? Oh man, I don't know. That's an impossible question, I think. Let's go with French fries. No, I don't know. I really don't have an answer to that question. I couldn't name my favorite French food. I really don't know. I'm struggling to give you an answer to that one. I really don't know. I like so many things that have come from France that I don't even know where to even start. It'd be like saying, what's your favorite Italian food? Like I couldn't give you an answer to that either. Blind Disobedience says, how much time does holding and organizing a group buy take? I think it depends on the group buy. So, I mean, it depends on whether it's one that I'm hosting just as a vendor, or if it's one that I'm involved in the design process for as well, or if it's one that I'm involved in the full end-to-end process for design and manufacturing. Like, how long is a piece of string, right? It can really, really vary. There's no straight or hard and fast answer to that. Oh noes, yeah, like I sneezed and I had a nosebleed. It's fine. Oh my, hey man, good to see you. J series shouldn't count. JQ27. Where did that come from? Why shouldn't J series count? Count for what? My favorite French food. Fleece pizza, obviously. Is that for the Italian? I don't think pizza is Italian originally, though. Is it? Like, can you really class it as Italian? Can you? I'm not sure you can. don't think it's been proven that pizza came from Italy, right? Anthony, hey man, good to see you. When stab testers were back in stock? When we get delivery of them. I think we're waiting on some deliveries right now. So I don't know when that will be, but as soon as we get them, we'll put them on the store. Like it'll be within 24 hours of us getting them in stock. We'll have them in the store. It's not going to be like weeks from us getting them to listing them. Okay, taking this really slowly because I just want to make sure it's nice and flat and flush. We've done basically a column in the middle and a column each side, so I think we're good to go just row by row now. I think. Yeah, I think we're good to just go row by row. And again, what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure each switch is pressed into place. So we're just going to do a single pin on each switch and make sure it's pressed into place first. And then we can go back and solder the second pin just really super quickly, like we normally would once we know that it's all aligned. Kev, how much money a board has cost you? Oh, right, okay, fair enough, yeah. Like, well, I'm waiting for Ice Baby to come back on that one. Let's say I do it from a designer standpoint. Okay, so breaking it down, first you need an idea, and then you need to design that idea. Now, that can be anywhere from a week to 6 months, depending on how quickly you flesh out that idea, how much time you have to devote to it, how invested you are in the design, and a multitude of other things. So let's average that out and say it's a couple of months for you to do the design. Then you need to do prototyping. So then you need to find a factory, you need to order the prototypes, you need to pay for it, you need to work out if you need PCBs as well, or if it just needs to be if there's like a standard PCB that'll fit it and all of that kind of stuff, plus any other accoutrements or any other items that you need for it. You know, do you need the plate to be cut? Do you need it to be milled? Do you need, you know, like laser cut windows like we did for the Argyle or whatever else? Then you need to have them all manufactured. That usually takes a month or two. And then you have to have them shipped to you as well. So that's, again, another month or so. So realistically, from coming up with an idea to getting a working prototype, you could be looking at anywhere between 4 and 10 months. It really depends on how quickly you want to work on it and a multitude of other things. So it could be anywhere in that kind of region. Once you have everything working from that perspective, then you need to decide from...
Incredible.
Thank you so much, Bilk Boy Chad, for the follow. Then you need to decide from the prototype if you need to change anything, if you want to revise anything. You may or may not want to do that. It really depends. Assuming you do, you've got another 3 months or so of work there, making the changes, ordering another prototype, getting that, you know, in hand, proving that your changes have worked and fixed whatever issues you found. Then, of course, you want to do some marketing, so you'll release the IC at that point. You get the IC going. You probably want to leave that open for a few weeks. You might do that in between rounds of prototyping. You might do it before you prototype. It really depends. I tend to like to do it after I've got a prototype on hand. Then, of course, you've got to run the group buy. So group buy will be open for, let's say, a month on average. You leave it open for a month. Once you've run the group buy has either been a success or a failure. If it's been a success, you then start to put into your manufacturing order. Before you've done the group buy, I mean, you've probably got a month of prep just before you do the group buy, just in terms of getting all of your prices ready, getting all of your product lines ready, getting all of your royalty payments ready, all of that kind of stuff, making sure you can underwrite the group buy, so if it goes wrong, you've got the capital there to refund everybody. You know, making sure you've got all of your T's crossed, your I's dotted, and everything else. That's probably a good month's worth of work just there. So then you run the group buy, you leave it open for a month, you close the group buy. It's probably going to take you 2 to 3 weeks to just go through all of the different numbers for everything that you need to track, all of the different materials and orders that you need and plate types, and check all of the orders are correct, make sure everyone's paid the right amount, make sure that addresses are correct and all of that kind of stuff. Then you'll instruct the manufacturer to start manufacturing the boards. That will take, depending on how many boards you've ordered, between 3 and 12 months. If you've ordered 50, it might take 3 months. If you've ordered 1,000, it might take 12 months. From there, you'll then get the boards in. You have to do QC. I mean, shipping as well. Like when you ship them to you, you're going to be shipping them by sea because shipping them by air would be just too expensive. So when you ship them over, it's going to take 6 weeks for them to get to you because they're going to be sent in bulk. They're going to be sent on a pallet. You might have a ton in weight of keyboards depending on how many you've ordered. You're going to have them sea shipped to you. Then you've got QC to do. That's probably about an hour per board on average. And then, of course, you've got to pack them and then ship them out to customers as well. So you're probably talking about 2 or 3 hours on average to collate everything together that the customer's ordered, complete the quality control checks, package it all up, get it ready to ship out and put a label and everything else on it. You'll probably also have a ton of admin to do during the group buy. That's probably a couple of weeks worth of work, which will be things like changing addresses, updating payment methods, sorting out customer inquiries on length of time, refunds, all of that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, lots of stuff. Pizza was first in Gator and Naples. Okay, nice. Which soldering wire are you using? I use Kester solder wire pretty much exclusively. I import it from the USA. I'm not sure if it's available on any UK vendor website right now. Jay doesn't currently sell soldering wires on PT. He buys them in bulk. Yeah, I do buy in bulk. Ice Baby asked for both of us. Wait, what? It's already the CA. I also have the Putain cover. I miss more. Oh, right. Okay, I see what you mean. Do you think the GMK will ever go back to a good lead time? If not, who do you think will pick up GMK's spot in the hobby? I think GMK by the end of this year will be back to a reasonable lead time. By the end of 2022, I think we'll be talking 9 months for a GMK group buy delivery rather than 18 months. By the end of this year, I think we'll be there. Okay, the PCB's pretty much holding the switches in now, so we can start to solder a little bit faster. That information is based on purely what I know of working with GMK and their current pipeline and machines they're doing. It's not necessarily wording from GMK, so take me at face value that's a prediction, not a fact. But yeah, I think we'll be back to 9 months by the end of this year. I think the second half of that question around if anyone will take GMK's place is kind of interesting because I think a lot of things have. I don't think it's any secret that GMK group buys are not selling in the numbers they used to. GMK group buys are not selling, 20,000 units anymore, or 10,000 units, or even 5,000 units very often. Most of the sets that would have 2 years ago sold 2,000-3,000 units, they're probably selling 500 or 600 now. So I don't think that's any secret, but I think that the rise of in-stock options like Canon Keys, PBT, and other bits and pieces that we have here at PT as well, that is significantly helping to bring lead times down elsewhere and to provide customers with options on what they'd like to see and purchase. Okay. Almost there with the soldering now. We do have another switch to pop in because the ISO enter fell out, so we'll do that in a second. But I think other than the ISO enter, that is us soldered up. Thanks a lot for the answer. It was very informative. Yeah, it's not a quick process. There's a lot to it. Blind disobedience. Any estimate on when your next Rainbow key set is coming? Yeah, Midnight Rainbow Round 2 and Daylight Rainbow will run as soon as the GMK queues drop a little bit. Like, that's what we're waiting for. Being both the most expensive to put together and also worth the most. Worth the most is probably my TGR Jane V2 and the V2 CE and the TGR prototype I have. They're probably all worth around 5 to 7 grand each, something like that. But obviously I paid like group buy price for them or retail price for them. I've also got a couple of key cults that are commissions and probably quite expensive as well. I have some really old rare stuff, some OTD stuff. I don't know what that's worth, but that's probably worth a few quid now. I have some really old LZ stuff as well, which is quite rare. I have no idea of the value of half of this. VEAs and stuff like that. So I would imagine that those are the most expensive. In terms of the one that's cost me the most, it's probably the Athena hand carved board that I have. So it's a TX keyboard, which isn't particularly expensive, but it had 2,000 hours spent hand carving it. That was really expensive. The CMO TKL in ALBC3, which is a material that's kind of like an aluminium bronze casting, that was really expensive as well. I think that was a couple of $1,000s. So yeah. Do I still have the engraved board? Yeah. Have I got a TGR Alice? I've owned 2 TGR Alices. I built one, a pink one. I had a pink one from the original group buy. I built it with Nixie switches, vintage cherry Nixies. And then I gave that to a friend just for the cost of a flight to the US. He still owns it, and he's under strict instructions. If he ever wants to sell it, he has to give me first dibs. Because he got that for like less than $700, I think. You got an Alice full of Nixie switches, which was like $5 each for less than $700, which is nuts. But he's under strict instructions to sell it back to me if I ever want it. I owned a Police as well, which I actually recently sold before I went on vacation. So I had a TGR Police. I built it on stream a couple of months ago, and I did sell that a couple of weeks ago. So I don't own an Alice currently, but I've owned 2 in the past. So there we go. There we go. Do I still have the engraved board? Yeah, it's in the cupboard just behind me. On the 17th, the Purple Potato Switch update said you expected PT within 2 weeks. Any news on when they'll arrive to you? I believe they're in the workshop. So, like, I've literally just got back from 2 weeks vacation on Friday. Whilst I'm here at the workshop, we have had about 13 tons metric in weight of deliveries while I've been away, so there is a lot of stuff in there. They should be in that pile. I haven't been able to go through it yet. That's the plan for next week with my team, to go through all of that pile and work out, but they should be in there. As soon as we have any more information, it will be updated on Notion. As soon as we find them, it'll be updated on Notion. So there we go. Any word on the Zaku restock? No dates, but it's going to happen at some point. Like, they're on order, so whenever we get them, we'll put them in stock. I did watch the F1, yes. I always watch the F1. Have you seen my CMO FE build? I haven't, Hans. No, I haven't seen it. My apologies for not seeing that. But no, I haven't seen it. Right, okay, just one last switch to do. This is the ISO enter switch. It should take less than 10 seconds to do, he says. Yeah, the vacation was good. We went to Mauritius for 2 weeks, and as I say, we just got back on Friday. So I haven't had a chance to work through everything that got delivered. There were some stories posted on Instagram, but there's just boxes everywhere. There's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of boxes, and we're talking like 2 feet cubed size boxes. Like, they're stacked 10 feet high, and it goes the full length of the workshop, and this is not a small place. Like, it's nuts. There's just so many boxes. Right, okay, so now we've built the keyboard. The next job is to install the O-ring. Where'd I get all the neat little pots from? Which pots? Which pots do you mean? I'm not sure which pots you mean. Just 3 pictures of sound test. Thanks, Hen. I'll take a look after the stream then. So basically what we're doing here is we're just stretching the O-ring around the PCB and plate assembly, and this will act as kind of like almost like a spring that it will sit on. So there we go. That's now installed. You can see that that's where it sits. The ones holding my switches. Oh, these tubs. I bought them in bulk. I bought like 1,000 tubs. I keep all my key sets in it as well. In these as well. I bought like 1,000 of them. From like a wholesaler's. I bought them a couple of years ago, so I can't remember exactly where I bought them from, but yeah, I bought them in bulk. Screw-ins and O-rings. Yeah, well, we'll see. It should be okay. It should be okay. We'll see. We'll see if I'm right on that. Okay, so next up, let's move the top case to one side for a second. Get these feet in place again, just to keep the base protected. Let's see if we can get this aligned nicely. It should be okay, I think. He says. Okay, no, it's not going to go, is it? It doesn't like these. Oh, man. Are we going to have to top mount this? Like this. This is so frustrating as a build. Yeah, I forgot that this was an issue with these boards. How far off is that? That's quite a way off. Do I have a fix? I do have another stabilizer set that would work, but I can't take them out. Like, I have some clip-ins. Okay, we're just going to have to go top mount for it. I should have thought about that when I was selecting O-rings. Thank you for pointing it out to me, because I should have remembered that was an issue. Jay, I can't find the last demos you built Satisfaction 75. I built the Satisfaction 75 just before I went on vacation. So that would have been about 2 weeks ago. If I haven't uploaded that to YouTube, I'll do it after the stream today. Just screwing in the plate here, just making sure it's all nice and neatly aligned. We'll just go with the top mount for today. I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to see if we can get some of these parts replaced. The ones with the bad scratches on the base, we'll see if we can get replaced, because it doesn't feel A-stock. So I'll try and see if I can get them replaced. If I can, great. If not, well, we'll see what we can do. And at the same time, I'll see if I can get another PCB, and I'll laser cut my own plate for the board. To make sure that it's to the spec that I want it to be, make sure the tolerances are correct, and then we'll do an O-ring mount, I think. Maybe with a POM plate. Doesn't play nicely with TX Debs either. Okay, I do have some OG Cherry ones, which are actually really nice, so we'll probably go with those, I think. Right, so next job is to just plug it in at the JST connector. That's all nicely in place. Then we're going to pop the top case down. We're going to flip the board over, and then we're going to screw it back together. Keycaps poll soon? Yeah, almost ready for the keycap poll. Okay, so we're going diametrically opposed for the screws, just so that we're evening out the load across the board. Just means you're not going to put any single screw under too much pressure. No worries, man. Thank you very much for pointing in. I appreciate you being here. I know I did drop a screw for this board on the floor. Where did that go? Can we see it? No. Typical. Do we have a spare? No. Typical. Okay, right. So I need to put one screw in this board. I'm just going to take this front screw out. It is on the floor. I'll find it after the stream. I'm going to take this screw out here. And then use that underneath the weight, and then after the stream I can replace that front screw. Midnight Rainbow designer, love that set. Thank you, man. Yeah, I designed Midnight Rainbow. I don't think I'm a designer by any stretch of means though, but yeah, that was my set. Okay, now we can pop the weight back in. I'm a little bit disappointed that this has got so many scratches on it, but it is what it is. Oh, it doesn't. It's actually bent as well. Like, if I do this, can you see? Come on, focus, focus, please, camera. Camera, come on, focus. There we go. Can you see that the weight's bent? Doesn't quite sit in. It's a significantly less boring version of white and black. Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah. I don't feel like you should have to screw it in to straighten it, though. That feels wrong. Like, of course it is straightening out as I screw it in, but that still feels wrong. Couldn't it be color on black? Maybe. He'll take the F-stock board off me. The board you sent back, by the way, Omar, I got it in, so DM me and let me know where I need to send it. So when you're milling things, materials get hot, so as you're milling the piece out, it could get hot, and that heat could cause it to bow. I suspect that's what it is, or it could be the hand polishing. When they've been polishing it, it could get hot from the polishing, the friction, that could bow it as well. It could be stored incorrectly, it could be stood vertical. If you stand things that are long and thin vertical, over time they will get a bend into them, so it'll bend over time. Could be a few different things. Right, okay, so that's the board all back together. I'm not going to put these feet on because I'm going to make my own, but I don't want to put it on the desk. Next job, let's test that it actually works. Let's make sure that everything is working on the board. Come on, there's a hole. Let's get Via back up, just making sure all the keys work. Okay, you should be able to see that. Let's go to the key tester, test the matrix, and we'll just test each key one by one, just make sure everything's soldered correctly. Would be interested to see how the feet I make turn out. Yeah, I'll share a picture when I make some. I'm half tempted to say that the ones that are on this are too thick anyway. Okay, all working great, perfect. Okay, I'll probably change the config around a bit later on. I don't want this as Windows, for example, but we'll sort that out later on. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that so far. It's all looking good. Everything came out even when we soldered it. Still a little bit disappointed with the scratches on the anode and the weights, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can put some keycaps on it, which means that it is time for you guys to pick which keycap set we use today. So chat does have the choice and the control over this. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit closer so you guys can see as we put the keycaps on the board. Because this board is pretty. Like, it is really pretty. I don't want to take anything away from that. I mean, look at that curve. It is lovely. It is really nice. But there we go. There is some slight issues with it. Right, okay. So for keycaps today, you guys have a choice of a few different sets. Omar, if Omar's around, is going to create a poll. So you guys can select from the poll. There is 5 keycap sets I've pulled out of my personal collection today. The first one is GMK Hero. So GMK Hero is the first option. The second option is DCS Red Alert. Don't vote yet, guys, as well. There will be a poll in a second. The third option is GMK Oblivion. This is round 1 with the Hagorama, which is the White Alpha's base kit. The fourth option is GMK Olivia. And the fifth option is just good old GMK White on Black. So there we go. Omar, I think, is going to create a poll for you guys to select from. Love me a demo. We've actually lost the label maker. When we installed the mezzanine in the workshop, which was like a 3-day ordeal, putting up 10 tons of steel, we've lost the label maker at some point during that. Like, Mel can't find it. So I don't know what happened to it. But the poll is up, guys, so you can now vote for which key set you'd like to see. Please vote. I'm going to drop my personal vote in there as well, what I'd like to see. Okay. Let's see how it turns out. I mean, interested already that no one has voted for Olivia. It's like the most popular key set of all time, and no one ever votes for it whenever we have it on stream. You have increased the reading prices, I see. Maybe we did. I'm interested to see how this goes. Oblivion round 1, is that what's going to win? Interesting. I thought you guys would pick a DCS set because we haven't used a DCS set for a while. Olivia. Yeah, like it's interesting because I've put Olivia on stream like maybe 10 times and no one has ever picked it. We've seen it a lot because of the popularity. Maybe that's what it is. Like everyone loves it, but no one ever picks it to go on a board. It's weird. It's weird. Oblivion's winning at the minute. I'm surprised at that. I didn't think Oblivion would win, but we'll see. We only used DCS Nightfall that time because you did a little rigging. Nice. Us DCS hunters are points poor. You can use bits if you would like. There is always a way. But yeah, DCS Red Alert is a good set. I do have the original OTD Red Alert, but it's so limited in compatibility that I haven't used it for a long time. Sad Red Alert results. Hey, it's not done too bad. You're real poor. All money on keyboards. Well, hey, if you're buying off the store, that's fine. Okay, GMK Oblivion round 1 has won. Okay, this is where I find out that half the set is in the tub, and I have to go and find the rest of the set. But we should have everything on the floor. Let's flip back over to the camera, and you can see me putting Oblivion on the board. Right. Okay. If I leave the tub open, I can probably see we don't need in. That's not 7U. That is 7U. Looks like this has ISO UK. It should do, I believe. Where is it? No, it's not 1.5. Oh, interesting. So we've mounted this as top mount, and it can only just fit in one place, but that key is binding and scratching on the case, so we're going to have to adjust it anyway. Interesting. That one's not. Interesting. I wonder if these two bind. If not, it means that these blockers are a little bit taller than they should be. Getting rid of the caps that we don't need. Okay, so that doesn't bind. You'd expect this to bind on here if this is binding on this, but it doesn't. Please don't tell me the blockers are the wrong size. Everything delayed due to Shanghai lockdown. Yeah, that's just sometimes how it is. Where's the ISO answer? There it is. Good. Yeah, so that's catching on here as well. Interesting. Should have an FN key somewhere as well, which will fit here. He says, looking for it, can't find it yet. It'll turn up. Should be blue. There it is. I don't think there's an orange on UFN. I don't think. Oh, there is. There it is. Okay, so we can change that over. H stock. I mean, this is not a cheap keyboard. I am kind of a little bit disappointed with it given the price. If it had been like $600, maybe it'd been a little bit better, but it was $1,000. It wasn't cheap. Step caps for the win. Yeah, step caps and windowed caps as well, which is really cool. Not enough sets do windowed caps these days. Did some look into it? It was a Boolean R2 which had no support for ISO UK with white alphas, so only album does. Okay, good to know. I'm pretty sure it does have ISO support, like UK ISO support. I'm pretty sure. He says, only to find out that it doesn't. That's always the way, isn't it? I haven't found any of the actual UK keys yet. Oh, there we go. Come on. There we go. Any popular keyboard will group by next month? I'm not sure what's going to happen next month, actually. I need to check my... I haven't been in my diary since before I went away, so I don't actually have in my head a list of what's coming up, I'm afraid, at the minute. I know there's a lot of stuff on the dock for this year, but I don't know what that is off the top of my head. But we'll announce it on the Discord when stuff is coming. Okay, almost there now with the board. Whoops. Feels like I've got very few keys left for how many keys I need to put on the board though. Have we got some keys missing? I'm going to be disappointed if we do have some keys missing here. Okay. I'm feeling vastly more confident now. There we go. Any update on the Stabies? Well, as soon as we get them in stock, we'll let you know. I put an order in a little while ago. I haven't heard back. As soon as I get confirmation of that, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so here is the Dalco 959 Mini GT Edition with GMK Oblivion Round 1, vintage black switches, top mounted, not gasket mounted, using Owl Lab stabilizers. Vintage switches are lubed with Crytox 105. These are just marks. These will come off. Well, these vertical lines is just where they've been resting on the rubber bits. But there is some scratches sadly in the weight. You can see most cleanly up here. All of these dots here, these are scratches.
Incredible.
The lines will go away. Look, but these dots here are scratches. These dots here are scratches. So this doesn't feel like it was A stock, but well, I guess Lewis must have been confident it was A stock, otherwise he wouldn't have shipped it. But here we go. That's what the board looks like. Side profile. I do like the side profile. It does look lovely. It's not particularly heavy. It's quite a light board. Could you mount its head higher to stop the rubbing on the space? I think I can. It does mean taking it apart again, but I think we can adjust it slightly. There's probably a little bit of play in that. In fact, we should probably do that. let's do that before we go any further, and then we'll do a little quick typing test. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the key set combo came out. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not going to put the rubber feet on this either, purely because I feel like I can make some better ones myself. If you guys want to see, I scroll back to the beginning of the stream, you'll see that I wasn't really happy with the feet themselves. They're not quite square, they're not quite straight. So I'm going to make my own feet for it, I think. So that's why we're not using the feet with the board today. Pretty sure Trunk Mel with a chainsaw could make better. Hey, Mel's pretty good with the hands. Wait, that sounded really rude. I did not mean that in a rude way. But Mel's pretty good with the hands. She's pretty handy. Do you see the first batch of bias are going to get anodized already? I didn't actually. I haven't kept up with anything whilst I've been away, so I haven't seen any updates on other group buys or anything like that I'm involved in, but not actively involved in the production of. So there might be a few things like that that I've missed. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip open the case. Try not to pull the JST connector too much, and then I'm just going to undo these screws slightly, and then we're going to try and just realign it just a touch. I'm just undoing these a quarter turn just to make sure we can slide it around on the inside. See how that is. Okay, that's better. Okay, there we go. That should now reduce any of the binding issues that we had. We can now pop the case back together. We should be able to pop the case back together. Doesn't quite want to go in. I don't know why. Why does this not want to go together now? There we go. What are your thoughts on anodized aluminium keycaps? I think they're pretty cool. I think that Alluvia should be out there in the workshop. I haven't gone through the boxes yet, but I think it should be out there. Steve Della, hey man, good to see you. The Zoom 65 March batch arriving this week. I know it's shipped to me. I don't know when it'll arrive. I don't have tracking for it yet. I know it's on the way, but I don't know when it's going to arrive. Any recommendations on some heavy tactiles? I quite like Anubis switches. Clicky's probably not my scene, I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't have an exact date on when the Zooms are going to arrive yet, but I know they're on the way. Again, with me not being in work for a week or two, I haven't got the latest position on a lot of things. But when I'm back tomorrow, I'll be checking on all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, Anubis switches are probably my pick for a heavy tactile right now. Hopefully gives you time to make some floor space. Yeah, I don't think the match batch is that big. I think it's only like 40 boards, I think. Something like that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the U40s personally. I know a lot of people like them, but I'm not personally a fan. Okay, there we go. Board is back together. Should we see how it sounds? Let's pause the music and see how this sounds. I'm interested to see whether it sounds good or not. So these are vintage blacks inside the Dalco 959 Mini. Okay, so I'll be honest, it sounds really pingy. Like the switches are really nice and smooth. The switches sound like vintage blacks. The switches just sound like they should do. But I don't think the board itself sounds good. I think the thing for me is the stainless steel just makes it sound pingy and hollow. Yeah, I've always typed with the index finger spacebar. I've talked about this before on stream, but I learned to type on a ThinkPad, and I learned to type using the mouse on the ThinkPad because it's a laptop. So I learned to type with my thumbs down here for the mouse buttons and the trackpad itself, and I just use my fingers for up on the keyboard. So that's how I learned to type. So I know I don't type correctly, but I think the issue with this board is, first of all, we're using the aluminium plate. I think if we move to the POM plate that I'm going to make for this, then that will probably reduce some of that pinginess. I think the second issue for me with this is that it's the stainless steel inside. That's going to make it sound pingy. I think the switches would sound fine in any other board, and we may need to put a small layer of felt. What I'll probably do is cut a small thin piece of felt that sits just above the stainless steel inside, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's probably the plan for this board. But I am still slightly disappointed that an A-stock board has so many scratches and scuffs on it. Like this isn't a scratch. These lines aren't scratches. These will all polish out. These are just where it's been resting on the feet. But all of the dots that you see up here, all of these three, the dots here, like you can physically feel them in the weight. Like they're physically there. Like I can, rubbing my nail across them without trying to scratch it, I can feel that those marks are there. So yeah, tape mod might help with the pinginess. I don't like the tape mod personally. I'd prefer to put foam in something, and I don't really like putting foam in it. Hey, if someone wants to pay me $2,000 for this, I'd take that. It is very pretty. I agree. It's very pretty. I think that the corners are probably overly rounded for me, but I appreciate that that's part of the design. I'm heavily into cars as well. I do like the front lip. The front lip's lovely. I have to be honest, actually, someone asked me earlier on what board I thought was the best 60% on the market right now, and I jokingly said the JO2. I do think the JO2, as it's my design, is especially the new version that we've done now, is up there, and it's something that's been close to me for the past 3 or 4 years as I've been working on it. But I think possibly one of the better keyboards on the market in the 60% that I've really enjoyed recently was the Derivative, and I think for 2/3 the price, the Derivative is better than the 959 GT. The O-ring would probably make a difference. The issue is with the O-ring, I'd have to change stabilizers, so I think we will use clip-in stabilizers when we do the second build. We used screw-in stabilizers, which stops us using the O-ring on this particular build, purely because that's just what I had to hand. But yeah, I think we will build it with... I think we'll use the same switches. We'll use these same switches. We'll take them out and rebuild it with a POM plate, and we will use the O-ring. And I think maybe a small... I'll cut an inside piece on the laser cut. I'll cut an inside piece out of 1.5mm thick foam, and we'll see how that sounds. But yeah, I think the Derivative is a better 60%. It was my gut feel right now. I think I have it to hand, actually. Let me grab that. So this is the Derivative 60. Again, wing keyless. Again, has the cherry bezel on the front, but it's curved. It's hard to show you the one on here, but it's It's just flat as this front bezel, which is nice and lovely. I do like that, but I think that this is probably a better board overall. I think I prefer the derivative personally. Yeah, I have a KTKL. Actually, I might be able to reach it. Actually, give me a second. I'll show you guys that. Yeah, I have the KTKL. I don't have a K60, but I do have the CKL. E-white. PBC Noel. Derivatives on obtainium. I don't know how many there are, but I do love my derivative. It's one of my favorite 60%. This gets a lot of desk time when we're not doing productive stuff and we need a TKL for it. This gets a lot of desk time. Like when I'm writing stuff, I do use this an awful lot. And it's beige. Beige is great. So there we go. Okay, so I think this needs a rebuild. I'm not happy with this build. We're going to have to rebuild it, try and make it a little bit better. Probably have to do another stream at some point for that as well. I can't believe that they go for $2,800. Like, that just seems nuts. Like, I would... Cafe goes out. Right, Cafe looks great on this, doesn't it? This looks just so good with Cafe. It's not a 959 mini front lip. This is not from the 959 is not the first one to do the front lip. This is the OG cherry front lip. So Pone has been doing this front lip for years. The Juby had it. The Equinox I think had it as well. Like it's huge. But the derivative actually curves it, so you can see that it's actually curved on the derivative. It's thicker here, gets thinner, gets thicker. Like that flat edge on the 959 mini. That's not original to the 959 mini. That's been used for donkey's years in a number of keyboards. The base on it is kind of reminiscent of the Keycaps, but the Keycaps obviously don't have that flush part here on the sides. They don't have this. So yeah, I'm not sure why he called it the derivative. You'd have to ask Justin why he called it the derivative, but it is quite possibly my favorite 60% right now. Found another for $3,200. Jeez, they can't be selling at that, right? They can't be selling at that. Like, if someone wants to pay me $2,000 for this, I would say yes without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Wing keyless always wins. Wing keyless on a 60 is the best layout. Like, it's my favorite layout, and it's most comfortable for me when I'm typing and writing stuff. So if I'm writing like a blog post or something that needs a lot of text to it, 60% with wing keyless is pretty much my go-to board for that. Whether it's the JO2, which I use a lot at home, or whether it's the derivative, which I use a lot here, it's one of those usually. We use a TKL a lot of the time, which is why we have the Matrix 3 here, because Mel prefers it. We also have like a numpad on the desk that we use constantly as well, because we use a lot of Excel and stuff here for productivity. So yeah, it really depends on what we're doing. But yeah, Spud, I think we talked about the K as well. We do have the K TKL, but not the K60. Or Key 60, Key TKL, Key K, not sure how it's pronounced. But yeah, there we go. I think most of my boards are wing keyless actually. I think very few of them aren't wing keyless. I mean, just under the monitor here I have the Ace of Spades that's wing keyless. I have the Dolphin that's wing keyless. I have a Duck Orion that's wing keyless. I can't see. What was the retail price of the derivative? What did I pay for it? Let me see. I paid $600 for the derivative, and I paid what did I pay for the Dalco? I paid $950. So $600, $950. Just to put it into context. So the derivative was $600. This was $950, give or take. Leonardo Damas, hey man, what's up, Mr. Sunburn? Yeah, I am sunburnt. Like, I'm peeling like mad. Like it's hard to show you, but yeah, like you can see here, my skin is just peeling like mad. I shouldn't peel it over the keyboards, but yeah, I did quite badly sunburnt. Post-holiday glow. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty tanned, like everywhere, but I mean, well, the easiest way to show you that I caught a tan is to do this. Look, you can see where my watch was on different days. So yeah, like I have another watch that I wear with another strap, and it's like a 2-part leather strap, and I didn't realize, but it was going round and there was a little gap, so I definitely caught the sun. But as you can see, I am peeling. Classic watch tan, right? My favorite 60% of all would be the unicorn. I gave my unicorn to another streamer. Who was it now? He had a kid. Oh gosh, what's his name? My mind's gone blank. I gave it to another streamer. What was he called? Oh gosh. American guy. He's got a kid. He's a nice streamer. He's a nice guy. I think he still streams. What the hell was he called? Stash. Stash. That's who I gave it to. Was he called Stash? Pretty sure it's called Stash, something like that. Yeah, I gave my unicorn to him. It was one of the round 1 ones. It was one of the few that was done in a burgundy red, and I sent him that. Must have been 18 months ago now. Yeah, but Stash builds boards, I think it was. But I gave him that 18 months or so ago. It was actually the quickest thing we've ever shipped to the US, because it literally took 17 hours from my door as the package experience to his door. It was like 17 hours door to door. So there we go. The holiday was great. We had a great time. We were in Mauritius for 2 weeks. It was fantastic. The weather was amazing, and we had 2 days where it rained, but it was like tropical storm, and that's where we got sunburnt. Actually, we were out on the water doing some kayaking, and the sun came out whilst it had been raining. So it just rained and rained all morning. So we thought we're gonna go out anyway because it's like 28 degrees or whatever. It's still super warm. So we went outside, got in the kayaks, went out on the sea, started kayaking. We had sun cream on just in case the sun came out, but the rain, of course, washed it off. And then when the sun came out, we were out in the sun for about 15 minutes, and I just burnt all across here, like really badly. It's still a little bit sore, but it's okay, because by the time the sun came out, we had to rush back to the hotel room to put more sun cream on, and in that period we just burnt. It sucks, but it is what it is. It's fine. But the holiday itself was great. Yeah, it was really good fun. I am glad to be back in the UK though. I'm glad to be coming back to work. I do miss it.
Tasty, tasty.
But thank you very much for the raid. 216 people. Welcome to the stream, guys. We are pretty much right at the end of the stream, but thank you very much for coming today. We've just finished building a Dalco 959 Mini GT edition. This is the board that we've just built today. Please excuse the finger marks on the bottom of the board. Dalco 959 Mini GT.
Incredible.
Thank you so much for the raid, Beth. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. How was your stream today? Was it good? Reminds you to upload the S75 video. Yeah, I'll upgrade that.
Incredible.
Look at all these follows. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the follows. As well as that, we've also been talking about the Derivative, which is another keyboard that we've been building recently. It's pretty cool as well.
Incredible.
Everyone is ending at the same time. Yeah, we're literally about to finish the stream. Hey Beth, hey man, how you doing? Hope you're doing well, dude. Hope you're doing well. We've literally finished the build and we're about to end the stream, but we'll raid someone else.
Incredible.
Being sent forward 3 streams now. Well, stay around for a 4th. We'll do it again. Raid Disaster Trim. He just came online. This is the 3rd pass on. Yeah, we can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. Right. Okay. Let's do a quick raid for Disastertron. This is a great guy. Let me set that going. Right, we'll raid him in a second. Before we do, thank you so much for following, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. I've thoroughly enjoyed the stream, even if the board wasn't the nicest board to build. Come back next week because we're going to have more streams. We're going to be doing a Lego build stream during the week. We're going to try and do some more workshop streams where we make stuff on the laser cutter as well. And we'll be building another keyboard next weekend as well. And it might be the JO2 Blackout prototype. Might be, if everything arrives in time. If not, it'll be a couple of weeks ago. Sound demo, if you scroll back through the stream, we've already done that. You'll be able to hear it, but I've already set up the raid, so I'm not going to have a chance to do that for now. Ishwari, I'm sorry I can't read that, but thank you very much for commenting. Feel free to DM me, whatever that means in English if you can. But yeah, we'll be back pretty soon. Come check out the store. prototypist.net. Where is it? Down here. Go buy something. Or don't. It's fine. Whatever. Check back on the Insta stories because we'll have a lot of content on Insta this week as well. Because we'll be putting all of that stuff into stock and shipping it out as well. Lots to go. But thank you so much for being here, guys.
Incredible.
Let's go rate this, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, guys. Let's tell him he's beautiful. Let's tell this he's beautiful. Everyone just say this. You are beautiful when we get there. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
But I want to. Let me go. Let me, you asshole. Oh, yo. Jay with the 69-person. And Pharmacy and Thrax, thank you for those follows there. Welcome, everybody. Howdy. The raid count came in right. You guys kicked people out of chat until the number was spot on, I see. Hey, Jay. Whoa, 6 months, for real? Yo, dude, thank you so much for 6 months. Let's go. Leonardo da Mouse? Hey, Leonardo, I know your mice. Can we get an Instagram shout out for Leonardo? I love your shit, man. Oh, man. Pleased, thank you for the follow, too. Everybody, what's up, guys? Yo?